One thing I've always loved about Nintendo games is how well the company is able to include intricate secrets within their titles, really adding a whole nother depth to your experience that makes you want to keep playing and discover them all. Mario games in particular do a really good job at including these hidden features for players to find, and my favorite of these would have to be secret levels, which is exactly what I'm going to showcase in this video. That being said, I am only going to focus on the Super Mario Bros. Series of games, as that's where the best of these can be found. Oh yeah, before I get started, my name is Copycat, and if you haven't yet then please subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell button to stay notified when I upload new videos. To start this video off, we're of course going to look at secret levels from Super Mario Bros. For the NES, where if you beat the game, you can play hard mode, which of course makes things more difficult. Levels you come across now include Buzzy Beetles instead of Goombas, and every single enemy moves considerably faster, making it feel like a brand new experience. The only other level I guess could be considered a secret is Minus World, which is a glitched area that can only be reached by performing a few steps. First, you need to go to the pipe at the end of World 1-2 and break these specific bricks above you. Next, you need to crouch clip into the wall, which is actually a lot easier than it seems. And once through, don't move at all, as you have to ensure that you can enter the left pipe without any warp level numbers appearing on screen. If you did everything just right, a prompt will appear saying, Minus World, where you'll then be taken to a strange underwater level with no ending. I guess this is stretching things pretty far for what's acceptable as a secret level, but at least you don't need a Game Genie or hacks to get here. Up next, we're going to look at Super Mario Bros. 2, that came out on the NES in 1988, which doesn't technically have any secret levels, but I do want to mention one very cool hidden area in World 3-1. Now, if you fall down the waterfall into what seems like a void below, you'll instead find that you'll come across a small house that you can actually enter. Other than a few items and coins that you can collect, at first glance it doesn't seem like there's much to do here, where in actuality you can use the magic potion here as a way to warp to World 5. I get that this isn't really a secret level, but I wanted to mention this as it's such a hidden off-the-path area that many people have no clue about. The final game of the original NES trilogy is Super Mario Bros. 3, where there's actually a secretive area in World 2 that holds a couple of hidden levels. To get there, you need to have the hammer item, and go to the rock in the top right corner of the overworld. Here, you can use it to smash the rock, and gain access to a toad house that contains a frog suit, and a Fire Bros fight, which grants you a whistle for your troubles. Another secret level from this game I want to mention are the treasure ships, that only appear if you do a few specific things. First, you must be in worlds 1, 3, 5, or 6. Second, a wandering hammer bro has to be on the overworld map. Third is that you have to finish the stage with a coin total ending in a multiple of 11. Fourth is that you need to end the stage with an even number on the clock. And finally, fifth is that the tens digit in your score has to match the first digit of your coin total. Before we move on, I need to mention secret levels from the Lost Levels title that was released alongside the Super Mario All-Stars collection for the SNES. This strange entry was actually the true Japanese sequel that ended up being replaced in North America as it was deemed too hard and too similar to the original. The first set of secret levels I want to look at come from World 9, aka Fantasy World, that can only be accessed once you beat the base game without warping. Here you'll need to encounter strange things like an underwater level with above ground enemies, a weird King Koopa clone that you can avoid easily, and an out of place final level that contains blocks that spell out arigato, which means thank you in Japanese. The other set of secret levels in this game come from worlds A to D, which are only unlocked once you beat the game a grueling 8 consecutive times in the Japanese version, or just beat World 9 in the American version. These levels are extremely similar to the ones we've already seen in this title, but with more enemies that move much faster, and tougher platforming mechanics that can be unforgiving. The only secretive levels in Super Mario Land for the Game Boy that I can think of are the much tougher versions of the original 12, that only show up in hard mode once you beat the base game. Unfortunately, due to the limitations of the Game Boy system, this isn't a huge change, only adding a few more enemies in every level, not really giving you that much of a challenge. I don't blame Nintendo too much for this, as it was one of the very first portable games ever made, so it deserves to be cut some slack. The next game in the series is Super Mario World for the SNES, that has several different secret levels found in both the game's Star and Special Worlds. These two areas can be reached in a multitude of ways through the several different hidden exits found throughout many of the game's levels. Just as a note, because I did just recently learn this, that you can tell which level has a secret exit by looking at its overworld marker. As if it appears red, that means there's multiple exits, and if it's yellow, that means there's only one. The Star World is the first you'll come across through your alternate pass, which contains different colored Yoshis within each of the levels, each of which you need to use to find the secret exits, as it's the only way you can progress forward. You can use your completion of this world as a shortcut to the game's other worlds, but the actual real draw is the entrance that spawns the Special Zone, which contains even more secretive levels. Here you'll find the jumping board-based gnarly level, the power balloon-oriented tubular level, the moving platform switch-based way cool level, the slippery platforming awesome level, the enemy-filled groovy level, the flood-based mondo level, the forest-based outrageous level, and the final bonus funky level. Hidden worlds like this would become a mainstay in the series moving forward, and you'll see way more of them coming up in this video. Up next is Super Mario Land 2, The 6 Golden Coins, the sequel to the Game Boy original, which actually contains several hidden levels that are found throughout the game's several zones. Now, a few of these secret levels will act as a shortcut, but for the most part they only exist as a way to get better looking overworld background images. Now, this isn't exactly the biggest secret ever, but once again, this game appeared on the relatively rudimentary Game Boy system, so even being able to produce an end result like this was a huge deal at the time. If you beat the secret tree zone level, then blossoms will appear. If you beat the secret space stone level, then the moon will turn from angry to sad. If you beat the secret pumpkin zone level, then a giant pumpkin will appear. If you beat the second secret pumpkin zone level, then booze will appear. And if you beat the secret turtle zone level, then the whale will wake up. These are more cool little Easter eggs than anything else, but at least they did add them to the game. The next game in the series is also the first 3D entry in the franchise in Super Mario 64 for the N64, where the castle holds many secret levels, some of which are pretty hard to find. The most notable are the princess's secret slide that's found through one of the peach stained glass windows, the secret aquarium that's found near the entrance of Jolly Roger Bay, the behind the scenes looking area underneath the moat, the tower of the winged cap that's found by looking at the sun in the castle's main hall, the cloud-based Wing Mario over the rainbow area, found near Tick-Tock Clock, and the Cavern of the Metal Cap, found through Hazy Maze Cave. Some of these secret areas are actually important as they act as a way to activate the different cap power-ups, but some are just extra cool content for you to discover. One aspect of Super Mario Sunshine I always loved is the wide variety of secret levels that you can find, most of which are scattered amongst the different courses, hidden in some way or another. These secret areas are almost completely separate from the main game, and at times even require you to remove your FLUDD and platform in the old school Mario style of just running and jumping. Most of these are pretty straightforward, but can be a bit difficult to complete if you aren't careful, so patience and an understanding of Mario's movements are key if you want to collect all the shines. Probably the best known of these are the Lily Pad Ride and the Pachinko game, as both are incredibly unforgiving for many reasons, including poor level design and tough controls. You can only access these two directly from Delfino Plaza, and the Pachinko game in particular is well hidden underneath this section of the bridge, so good luck finding it without a guide. One thing I always felt was odd about New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS is that if you're not powered up with the mini mushroom through certain boss battles, then you won't have access to World 4 or 7. This was a very strange choice for Nintendo to make, as I've never seen a game where you're actually restricted from an entire set of base levels. I guess this does make you want to return to the game and play more, but I just find it a puzzling experience that doesn't make much sense. This entry also has a secret challenge mode that can only become unlocked once you beat the game, then pause it in the overworld map and press L, R, L, R, X, X, Y, and Y. This will then activate the mode and will restrict you from moving backwards, which surprisingly makes things more difficult, even to the point where you'll get stuck from time to time. The next game we're going to look at in this video is Super Mario Galaxy that came out for the Wii in 2007, which has a few secret levels, starting with the Planet of Trials galaxies that are unlocked once you gain all 3 green stars. These stars are located in 3 specific places throughout the entire game, and for some reason are needed to get the ball-based rolling gizmo, the bubble-based Bubble Blast, and the surfing-based Loop-de-Swoop galaxies, all of which add some unique, interesting challenge. The only other really secretive level is the Grand Finale Galaxy, where you need to collect all 120 stars with both Mario and Luigi. This final area is just the Star Festival taking place in the courtyard in front of Peach's castle, where you need to collect purple coins to gain the game's last star. This is a great secret nod to fans who love to 100% games and want to see this treasure for themselves. In New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, World 9 holds all of the title's secret levels, that's only unlocked once you beat the base game. A few of these levels are pretty cool, like the slippery ice block platforming World 9-7, or the dodging of giant bullet bills in 9-8, but most of the others are quite bland, and just incorporate themes from the different worlds that you've already seen. In the Super Mario Galaxy sequel, you can unlock the Special World S, which contains galaxies that have very particular unlock criteria. For the Mario Square Galaxy, you need to complete Bowser's Fortified Fortress. For the Rolling Coaster Galaxy, you need a total of 75 Power Stars. For the Twisty Trials Galaxy, you need 80 Power Stars. For the Stone Cyclone Galaxy, you need 90 Power Stars. For the Boss Blitz Galaxy, you need 100 Power Stars. For the Flip Out Galaxy, you need 110 Power Stars while feeding the Luma 2,000 Star Bits. And finally, for the Grandmaster Galaxy, you need all 240 Power Stars. This last secret level is considered by many to be one of the hardest Mario platforming challenges of all time, especially the Perfect Run Star, as you only have 1 health point to work with. Trust me when I say, this one will take multiple tries to complete. One thing I found really interesting about the secret levels in Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS is that there's just as many of them as there are regular ones, as once you beat the game, there's an incredible 8 special worlds to explore. Most of these levels are just harder versions of their regular counterparts, or add some sort of twist like including different enemies, lowering the time limit, or completely changing the environment. At the very end of it all is the most secret and most difficult stage of the game, World 8 Crown, which showcases tough aspects from across the different worlds. I really do think Super Mario 3D Land is an underrated game, and the secrets it contains like these ones is what kept me playing for hours. Next, we're going to look at New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the 3DS, that actually has several secret levels for you to find, starting with 3 special worlds that can all be unlocked through finding hidden exits. Within the Mushroom and Flower worlds, there are even more secretive levels to discover through those alternate exits, giving you tons of reasons to go back and replay them. The best of these secret areas is World Star, which is the final area of the game that can only be unlocked once you beat the main story and have 90 star coins. None of these levels really give you much of a challenge, as this Mario entry is probably the easiest ever made, but at least there is some fun gameplay to be found in these extra courses. This game is also home to rainbow levels that are unlocked by finishing a stage when each of the last 2 digits of the timer match the current world you're in. These extra areas are really just an opportunity to collect as many coins as you can, and for the game to give you items that you can't really find anywhere else. Which, unfortunately, is a bit disappointing, because I would have liked something a bit harder, but whatever. The final game in the new Super Mario Bros. Series is the Wii U entry that was released in 2012, which has several secret levels that are found scattered amongst the different worlds. Once again, secret exits are the way to reach these really cool areas. They'd usually act as a shortcut between worlds, or are just a nice bonus. Of course, this game has an extra special world in World 9 called Superstar Road, unlocked once you beat the game, and also contain a certain amount of star coins. These levels aren't really impossible at all, but do bring some of the hardest elements from across the game. The final secret level from this game is literally called Secret Island, that can be reached through the world map's pipe cannons once you complete everything. Here you'll find the Purple Toad House, which holds various records that you've achieved throughout your playthrough. That's a nice added touch so that you can see your progress and compare it with your friends. In Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U, there are 4 secret worlds that you can come across in World Star, Mushroom, Flower, and Crown, where the last by far contains the best levels. First, you'll find the Mystery House Marathon, where you need to complete 30 really quick challenges in order to gain all of the green stars. Second, there's the Crown Captain Toad level that takes place in a fiery lava landscape, which is a cool added touch, and is the closest to what we see in the Treasure Tracker entry. Finally, there's the hardest level in Super Mario 3D World called Champions Road, which contains no checkpoints, no power-ups, and is extremely lengthy, which really does up the difficulty. This level to this day still gives me tons of trouble, but this is exactly what longtime Mario fans want, as we're not young kids anymore and need some challenge. Next, we're going to look at Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch, which has a few secret kingdoms that unlock once you complete certain things in the game. First, there's the Mushroom Kingdom that becomes playable once you save the princess and defeat Bowser, where here there's paintings that allow you to revisit boss battles that are made now much tougher, and on top of that, there are many hidden areas for you to discover. Another kingdom you can unlock is the Dark Side of the Moon, that becomes available once you gain 250 Power Moons, and contains a series of boss battles against the Rabbit Brutals, leading up to the final fight against the Mecha Boss, which can be grueling. The final secret kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey is the Darker Side of the Moon. That's unlocked once you gain 500 Power Moons, and contains probably the toughest Mario level of all time, A Long Journey's End. This insane course has tons of tough platforming sections and absolutely no checkpoints, on top of it being full of enemies that are almost impossible to avoid, making the completion of this with no skips very hard. There's also almost no way of beating this on your first try either, as there's parts that require some memorization and knowledge of where to position Mario. The final entry in the franchise that we're going to look at in this video is Bowser's Fury, which is a game that was released alongside the re-release of Super Mario 3D World, but now on the Nintendo Switch. Now this game doesn't technically have levels, but areas instead that are all situated within the world of Lake Lapcat. So the only thing I can really mention in terms of it being secret is the Lucky Isle, that only appears once the main story is completed. This golden floating island contains 5 cat shines that can only be collected one at a time before it disappears until a later time. I won't lie, this is a bit underwhelming, and I sort of expected a few better extra features than just this. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below what you thought about it, and of course subscribe to my channel. Also, please go follow my Instagram at Copycat Gamer. There I upload some cool clips and items from my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!